Etsy has finally given us some answers and clarification in the print on demand space, and not only print on demand, but also handmade and digital. Can we use mockups for print on demand businesses? Can you use AI in creating designs? And how does that look like in the future of Etsy? Etsy has answered all of those questions and more. And if you are a print on demand seller, handmade, digital alike, this is a great video to watch all the way through. If you're new to the channel, I wanted to give you a warm welcome in. My name is Heather. I have been doing Etsy tutorials and print on demand tutorials, tips and tricks and knowledge base on YouTube for the past 2 years. I've been a prior top 1% Etsy seller, and I've done multiple six figures in 1 year on the platform. So I like to share what I know, and this is news that I usually don't do or typically do on this channel, but I think this is really needed to be said right now and to clear up some confusion or any panic or anything that might come up with new updates. So besides that introduction, we're going to get straight into this. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, maybe share this with someone who is also selling on Etsy as well, because this update is a big one, or I guess clarification, so to speak. It's not really the biggest update, but it is clarification from Etsy and what a lot of us Etsy sellers have been asking for some time from Etsy. Besides that, we're going to hop and dive deep into this new update here. If you logged into the Etsy seller dashboard today, you will see this announcement appear, which is see our next steps to keep commerce human. And if you view the announcement, you're going to come to this page here where Josh Silverman and his staff had made a public announcement and a video for us Etsy sellers explaining these changes. Now, I highly recommend watching this video, and I will link this down below just in the case that you didn't get this announcement. What Etsy is really introducing is the way that we are clarifying how our listings are being designed, made, sourced, and handpicked. Etsy isn't really stating that they are exactly handmade anymore. They do have handmade sellers, but Etsy is not just a handmade platform anymore. And that's my biggest takeaway from this video, is that they put or even in their advertisement that they're coming out with. If I play this, Etsy is a marketplace for unique items made, designed, or curated by independent sellers. So as you guys can see in that text, it says or, and instead of maybe and, because Etsy is acknowledging finally that they do have sellers that are using print providers, and also they're using maybe production partners. Not every handmade seller fulfills all of their items themselves. If you're a handmade seller, what's really hard to do is scale out your business over time. And sometimes you do need to lean into production partners and print providers like Print on Demand, like using companies like Printify, and that shouldn't be a bad thing. And I think Etsy finally making these statements in this video and putting that text in the advertisement was just so, it just made me so happy, because I was like, this is what we needed, right? Like, this is what we finally needed, is to be acknowledged and see Etsy acknowledge print on demand sellers too, right? Because print on demand sellers, we all are designers behind the screen. Etsy is acknowledging digital sellers, handmade sellers, print on demand sellers alike. And it just made my heart happy to hear that personally. Now I wanted to cover the new creativity standards by Etsy and kind of dive a little bit deeper into this. Now, they do make a statement in bold: we are and will remain the marketplace for original items from real people. And I really love that they are clarifying here, for real people, for this is created by humans. This isn't all created by AI or a robot or anything like that. And I think that this is a great response to the CNBC article about Etsy that was painting a very kind of negative light on Etsy. I'm really happy that Etsy kind of made this statement and they made this video, because this is really great to say that, yes, there's humans behind the screens. We are all Etsy sellers. We are human, and we're not robots creating these products, right? So this was really great for me to see and hear, and I really just love the clarification from Etsy. They have new policies for creativity standards, and all items on Etsy must be either 1, made by a seller, 2, designed by a seller, 3, sourced by a seller, 4, handpicked by a seller. In this, if you're wondering where your products may lie, you can click in the find details. In going over made by a seller, so made by a seller's physical items crafted. So this is usually handmade, maybe 3D printer, Cricut machine, designed by a seller. So this can be the digital downloads or produced printed by a third party like Print on Demand. Sourced by a seller. So again, this can be craft supplies, party decorations, items buyers can personalize and print on demand. So sourced by a seller and designed by a seller fall within similar categories here. And then handpicked by seller is vintage items. Maybe you're selling on Etsy, items from nature, certain collections of items selected or curated by a seller. So going back to this initial article, what I did want to cover more in depth is mockups and AI. So if we look at Etsy's creativity standards, one big question that I know a lot of sellers are having right now is, okay, so for AI, what does that mean as far as designs go? So if you go to this page, and again, I'm going to link all of these links down below. So you'll see a whole bunch of links down below that you can look at with me. So if you have questions on, okay, can I use AI for designs, right? And that's a valid question. So if we see here, seller prompted AI creations. This means that creations that were generated using AI tools based on a seller's original prompts, sellers must disclose within their listing description if an item is created with the use of AI. So you must disclose if you are using AI in your listings, but that does not mean that Etsy is not allowing AI and AI created designs. What's Etsy's stance on AI creations? This is a new article that was posted in the seller handbook as well. From reading this, what Etsy is saying in summary is that AI original prompts are allowed. However, selling AI prompt bundles or maybe using AI prompts of other sellers that weren't initially created by you is not allowed. So this is kind of a not so good thing if you're selling AI prompt bundles on Etsy, because this is not allowed. And I think this is just trying to stop maybe promotion of people using others' prompts in their AI creations. Now, this is again just something that is really great for print on demand, handmade, digital alike, because you can use AI, at least it's your original prompts, to create AI products, maybe AI generated photos. So maybe you have a custom pet photo from a customer and you want to turn that into pop art, then you can still do that with the use of AI. That is what Etsy is stating. But as far as the designs go, seller's original designs produced by a production partner, original designs created by a seller and produced with the assistance of a production partner. And sellers must disclose that an item is made by a production partner and provide accurate information about where the item will ship from. In this example, let's say you have a unique dress designed by you and you are reproducing it to scale with your production partner. This is allowed per Etsy. A graphic logo created by a seller and printed onto a phone case by a third-party printer, such as Printify, such as a print-on-demand provider. This is allowed by Etsy. So this is so good to see that Etsy is finally acknowledging third-party print providers and print-on-demand providers. And again, just made my heart happy reading these things. These are the things that are not qualifying as designed by sellers. So selling a bundle, collection, scan, or PDF of someone else's work as a digital download, except in the case of qualifying vintage items. Using a pre-existing design or choosing from a production partner's ready-made templates, except in the case of items personalized by a buyer. And then AI prompt bundles are not allowed. So this is a question I get a lot is, can you use Creative Fabrica design templates, put it on a t-shirt and sell as your own? The answer would be no, because this is a pre-existing design. So you cannot use pre-existing templates that you are not actually editing, whether they are print on demand products, handmade or digital. You cannot use a Creative Fabrica design or a template as is and just sell as your own. You do need to put in some of your own creativity into your designs. Now you can use parts of designs, right? So if there's a graphic in a Creative Fabrica design that you like, you can crop it out. You can also just use a graphic, put also text, change colors, add in a pattern. You can do so much with Creative Fabrica elements, and same goes for Canva or Kittl. You can use so many different elements in a lot of these templates, but you still want to have your own intellectual property for those designs. What makes the template unique to your listings and your shop? And that's why it's good to always edit templates, change colors, change fonts, use your own graphics, maybe create graphics with AI. That's what I would recommend to those of you. So the next question you may have is, can you use mockups with this new update? So I'm going to open this link where it says see listing image requirements for more information about how to correctly showcase items designed by a seller, including items made by production partners. If we scroll all the way down to photos of items made with production partners, this is where this applies to people who are using print on demand providers. Now, there are some text I will say in here that people may get a little bit confused on. So use original photos is what Etsy suggests in the beginning of this. So when creating your listings, you must use your own photos, either photos you took yourself or had someone take for you. These photos should showcase the actual finished products that you made, designed, handpicked, or sourced. By accurately portraying the condition, quality, and quantity of your items, you help build trust with buyers. Now, there are exceptions to this. So when working with production partners, the requirements for listing photos vary depending on the item. If you design a unique item, such as a piece of furniture, clothing, or a book, and a production partner manufactures it for you, use a real photo of the physical end product. This only applies to certain print-on-demand products. One example I can give is a custom-shaped pillow. So let's say you do maybe like significant other face pillows or something like that on Etsy. You will need to either order a sample to take a picture of and put on that listing. But this does not apply to a lot of print on demand products, I will say. So this, what does count for it is if you create an original design, such as an artwork or a pattern that a production partner prints onto a base item like a t-shirt or mug. So again, if you're doing mugs, if you're doing t-shirts, if you're doing blankets, most products with print on demand, this is going to fall into this second sentence here, that you may use a stock photo mockup to illustrate the end product buyers will receive. Thank you, Etsy. Thank you. Thank you, Etsy, for clarifying this, because this is a question I have seen and I have even asked when I began with Etsy and print on demand, because it's been a rumor circulating for so long is, can you use mockup photos? And Etsy is finally answering us here. They are saying that you can use mockup photos. And as you can see, if it's buyer personalized items, it does say and have a stipulation here that you must follow the guidelines in the personalized or customized section. So what happens if you're offering any personalization products? So for personalized or customized products, example, custom drawings, monogrammed accessories, t-shirts featuring a buyer's custom text, your first image must feature a finished customized item similar to what buyers will receive. This helps buyers visualize what their custom made item will look like when completed. It is prohibited to use a photo of a blank product or a mockup with a placeholder text as the main image. So this is going to be a change for those who are doing personalized listings on Etsy. It does also say computer generated mockups may be used in additional listing images to showcase customization options. Just make sure your first image is the real deal. So this is a change that we are going to see on Etsy going forward. If you have personalized listings, this is something that you're going to maybe want to order samples on. And that's kind of the bummer about having personalization or customized listings right now, is there are some changes we might be seeing as far as what's allowed on Etsy. And if you're uploading listings and maybe they're getting taken down on Etsy, this might be the reason why. Or maybe you have a deactivated listing. This could be why as well, is just that Etsy wants the actual picture on that initial image. Now, as of today, I really haven't received any emails or a mass amount of people who have had deactivated listings. I can't foresee Etsy just taking down all the listings that are doing well on Etsy, because some of the best designs and best listings and highest selling products on Etsy all have your text here or what have you. So I personally can't foresee them just taking down and wiping out the face of Etsy. But if you have bestsellers on Etsy that are personalized, you may want to consider ordering some samples in the next week or a few weeks here. That would be my recommendation, just in the case that Etsy could potentially take down your listing because they want that real photo in place right now. But if you just have designs sold as is, so if you create the original design, you may use a stock photo mockup to illustrate the end product buyers receive. So kind of a negative for people in the personalization and customization place. Again, I don't think this is anything to panic over and take down a bunch of listings on Etsy. Keep up your listings that are personalization or customized items, but just know you may want to order some samples. Let me know in the comments too if anyone has had their listings taken down, deactivated, or anything that are personalized and custom. because this is a new update. And as Etsy said in their initial message, they did say that it would be effective immediately. Again, this is not something to induce panic or fear. This is just, you may want to order samples. Don't deactivate your listings. I think that's the first thing that I see when big updates come like this, is people are deactivating their own listings. You do not need to do that by any means. Since this update was so recent, a lot of people are most likely going to be, they're going to give some leeway. They're not a vicious and mean company at the end of the day. They are just trying to clarify right now and stick to their guns about certain things. So to speak, not to say, I feel like that's a really bad phrase to use, but anyways, that's basically all you need to know with this. So the last update that you should know about is that starting today, there will be a new item detail on listing pages labeled as one of the following. So this can be made by shop name, designed by shop name, sourced by shop name, and handpicked by shop name. And Etsy in their video also showed this in this video, which I found it was kind of funny because Hester's studio, it almost looks like Heather's studio. That is not my studio, by the way. That I have no affiliation, no association with Hester's studio. No, I am Heather's studio. And my Etsy shop is a test shop if you find me on Etsy, just so you know. In this video, Josh Silverman is showing the item details, and it will show made by blank, so made by Hester Studio. Again, Hester Studio, not Heather Studio. And then in the second example, we can see a illustration that is designed by White Oval Studio. So you already have production partners on your shop and added to all of your listings. This is something you don't have to worry about. I'll show you an example of one listing, and this is my test Etsy shop. But just to show that this listing, if you scroll down, you'll see under item details, designed by Heather X Studio. So this will already apply to a lot of your listings, which is kind of nice. We don't have to do anything extra with this new update. Now, if you do not know how to add in the production partners, and let's say you have hundreds to thousands of listings, you can update all of these in bulk. So in order to do that, you can select all by clicking up here. And then if you have multiple pages, you'll want to click this toggle down and select all. And then if it's all the same production partner, it's really easy. If it's not the same production partner, you will want to create sections for your listings, categorize those listings to maybe the production partners. You'll delete the sections later, but you do want to categorize. Then you will assign the production partners. For production partners, you can change production partners here. So you can add in a new production partner, put in the name of the production partner, location, about production partner. If you do not know where the location is, you can search up a lot of print providers on Google. So that's how I have gotten my zip codes for the past production partners I have listed. So Swift POD, they're based in San Jose, California. So you'll see this is my main print provider. You can also use or just put in Printify as well. That's always an option. But you will select here, we'll click update, and then that will update all of your listings. So that's an easy way to do that. And then once you have that updated and you view on Etsy, if you're a print on demand seller, you're going to see underneath item details, the designed by Blake. So all in all, I wanted to do a recap and just my final thoughts on this update. I will say that I think Josh Silverman and the Etsy staff did a really great job on clarifying and confirming things for a lot of us, and finally maybe stomping on some rumors that have been going and circulating the Etsy space as far as AI and mockup usage. And I think that was really great. And it just with the made by, designed by, and just showing creativity standards, I think that this helps a lot of us who are selling in print on demand and digital finally, that we are being acknowledged on their platform. I think this was one of the best ways they could have done this, in my opinion. It acknowledges that Etsy is not just handmade anymore. We are print on demand. A lot of us are using print providers and third-party providers, and that's not a bad thing. And it's actually a really good thing to scale our businesses, is to use support of third-party print on demand providers. And this allows a lot of sellers to scale out their businesses, right? So I was just really happy to see that. One of the downsides of all of this is just for personalization listings, custom listings. A lot of us are going to probably have to invest in maybe buying some sample products. I will say, if you have a personalized or custom listing and you have had sales, what I recommend also that I didn't mention earlier, if you have customer photo reviews, please do use those photo reviews and maybe reach out to the customers, ask them if you can use that as your main listing image. You can always say, hey, if it's a t-shirt and it has their face in it, be like, hey, can I crop out? Maybe they don't want their face to show, but they're fine with showing the t-shirt or the sweatshirt for personalizing custom listings. That's my best suggestion to those of you, just to see if customers are okay with you using that as your main photos for your listings. I know that it's disheartening for those who have a lot of print on demand listings that are personalized and customized, not to discount that this does stink, updating a lot of listings. All in all, I think that this is great that they finally clarified a lot for us sellers. And I think this is paving a really great path for Etsy as we go forward. Besides that, I would love to hear your thoughts in our comment section. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe things I didn't address in this video. I just personally wanted to touch on things that I think directly affect the print on demand and Etsy space and AI and the state of AI, mockups, what have you. So I know there's things I didn't touch on in this video that I would love to address maybe in a second update of this video, or maybe just like a react of this video as well. We could always do a second video here on this channel, but let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section. And I hope this video helped clarify and stump some confusion or any questions, concerns that you guys have right now as well in your own Etsy shops. Besides that, don't forget to subscribe, like the video to share to more people, and I will see you all in the next video here.